It was kind of hard to picture myself in this situation. I just never thought it would happen. But now that I'm actually pregnant, there are so many ostomy-specific concerns that are popping into my head, and I'm kind of nervous. Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today, and since announcing that I am indeed pregnant, oh my gosh, it's still crazy to say, I have gotten a number of questions about how this might impact my GI health and how it might impact my stoma. And I gotta tell you, before this actually happened, before I got the first positive test, I didn't really think about it a whole lot because it just didn't feel like it would be a reality for me. But now that things are going well so far, knock on some wood, these concerns are starting to pop up. And information about this, particularly first-hand experience with it, is fairly limited online. I thought we could talk about some of these concerns that I've thought of, and I can share with you changes that I've already experienced as I'm heading towards the end of the first trimester, and things that I'm worried about as I get further along. I have already noticed a few changes, and I'm kind of wondering where they're going to take me. The first one that I know I've talked a lot about on my channel in recent years is my ostomy output. I've talked a lot about it becoming a lot looser and me struggling with dehydration. It's really been a battle. I have noticed some changes with it because I assume pregnancy, but even before that, we were hypothesizing why this might be happening, and it seemed like there were potentially a number of factors contributing to looser output and losing a lot of fluid. But one thing that I spoke about was the potential that there was some bacterial imbalance going on in there, and I didn't really know what was happening with that until now. I recently had the opportunity to try Viome and their gut intelligence test. They are the lovely sponsors of today's video. Have you heard of them? Let me know in the comments below. But ever since I started with those GI symptoms, the increased ostomy output, and ever since I was introduced to the idea of maybe some bacterial imbalance is going on, I was wondering what the heck is happening in there. And I've heard of tests similar to this, but even if I went to take one of those and it told me what was happening, what would I be able to do about it? What would the solutions be? Would they give me suggestions on the changes that I can make? There really aren't many tests available out there that give you a very detailed breakdown as well as suggestions on how to improve things. But there is Viome's gut intelligence test. It was super easy to take. It arrived right to my doorstep, and in opening the box, it gave me detailed instructions on exactly how to take my sample. It required a small stool sample, which for me was a breeze with an ostomy. The kit gave me everything that I needed to do so. It took me no more than 2 minutes to collect the sample, and then I was able to pop it directly into the mailbox. Along with that, I took a little bit of a quiz going through my health, and then within a few weeks, I got my results. This included 20+ gut health scores that really broke things down in a language that I could understand. It kind of gave me my red flags of what might be going wrong in there and the things that my gut is doing well. It also gave me 300+ food responses, how my body responds to these foods, which was very interesting to go through the list because a lot of the things that were like, hey, you should probably avoid these, made sense to me because I tend not to have a great response to them. There were a few things that I was kind of surprised about, and so over time I'm going to start taking away foods that are on the avoid list, especially as I start to get out of the first trimester and this morning sickness goes away. So that way I can see what changes happen. It was really neat to scroll through this list and see like what changes I can easily make on my end that could potentially improve symptoms as well as, improve my ostomy output, the thing I struggle with most. This test and the results really made me feel like I can play an active role in trying to improve things. I think a lot of the times it feels like control is taken away from us and we're kind of a backseat passenger when it comes to our health and the things that we can do to improve it. This felt like it gave me a little bit more control back. It gave me some more information that I can do something about. I don't just have to rely on others alone to help me out. And I felt like it gave me a really good look at what I could do at home to help control my bowels a little bit more, which at this moment in time feels extremely important to me. I've mentioned that I made some GI health changes, and I just really want to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on inflammation and getting ahead of things. If you are interested in taking a look at your gut health specifics, head to the link tryviome.com/LetsTalkIBD. This is in my description, and use code LetsTalkIBD for $110 off of your test. Stop guessing and let your body tell you what it needs. Thank you so much to Viome for sponsoring today's video. So let's keep talking about ostomy output. Fun, right? This was the thing that I noticed change first, and is kind of one of my concerns moving forward. Is my ostomy output going to change? And that's why I was really excited to take this gut intelligence test to hopefully mitigate further issues. I feel like I sort of get into different grooves of where I'm handling things really well and I'm able to manage my diet and manage my output pretty well. But when I got pregnant, just a few weeks into being pregnant, all that went out the window. You know, we were in survival mode, and whatever I could keep down that sounded semi-okay to eat, that's what I was eating, which is not the best for your ostomy output. Because of this, my ostomy output became very inconsistent, and I think the most irritating thing about it is that rather than, you know, having active moments with my stoma and then my stoma kind of quieting down for a few hours, it is like a continuous flow. It's like somebody turned a hose on, you know, real low, but it is on. It is just always on. And this makes emptying my bag difficult. This makes changing my bag difficult. It's sort of annoying. As I am hopefully emerging out of this morning sickness moment, I'm hoping to implement some of the food changes to see if we can get back on a regular routine where, you know, my ostomy does have those active moments and I can avoid ostomy care during that time, because it's a lot easier to do everything when your stoma is not just constantly draining. Also, you know, I'm not new to intestinal inflammation, and so if I can try changing up the foods and hopefully using my diet, because it has proven to be effective in the past, if I could just implement some of the changes that that test specifically told me might be good for my gut, then hopefully we can avoid any further inflammation that might be going on. All right, for the next one, will my stoma change size? And this is something that may already be starting. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely the thing that people have told me is kind of the #1 pregnancy change with an ostomy. Their stoma either grows in length or in diameter or both, and that impacts how you change your ostomy, obviously. I have noticed that with my current flange, actually, let me grab it for you. Okay, so with the flange that I currently use, it's a moldable flange, which means that you like push this back to make it bigger for your stoma, depending on your stoma size. Typically, I don't really need to mold it a whole lot. It fits pretty well in there, just placing it directly on. But I am starting to notice that my stoma is getting slightly wider than this hole, and I'm like, I can't tell if it's just a fluke, like maybe I have more pressure in my belly, or maybe, I don't know, more blood flow to my stoma and it's just temporary, or are we gonna have to actually start molding this guy pretty large? I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna end up. I did also one day, I saw that my stoma did increase in length. Like, I have never experienced a prolapse. The only thing I've ever experienced with my stoma is a retraction. And it was one time, it was way back in the beginning when I had clear bags on and I woke up in the morning with a ton of gas in my bag, like a lot of pressure. I don't know how this thing stuck on me, but somehow it did. And it was enough pressure in the bag to actually push my stoma inside of me. As soon as I opened up the end of the bag to empty, my stoma popped back out. But I have never, I feel like I need to knock on some more wood. I'm so afraid the dogs will bark. I've never had a prolapse, but I have heard of other people, you know, having their stoma become longer. One person said that typically their stoma was more flush, and then when they became pregnant, it actually stuck out a bit more, so they switched from convex to flat flanges. I don't know if it's pressure or, you know, as the baby grows, it's kind of, there's not enough room in your belly anymore, and so your stoma pops out. but it does seem like the consensus is that your stoma does grow in size. I'm curious to see how big, like how much there is an increase in size. I like my little stoma. I think it's cute. It's worked so well. But from my understanding, it is a temporary change, and then once you deliver, things kind of return to their normal size. In this line, I am also curious, will I need to change my ostomy products? And I've already started considering this because I'm having just kind of this continuous drainage. The way that I empty my pouch is I will take a non-drainable. I get a lot of questions, why do you do this? It lays flatter. I don't like cleaning the end of a drainable pouch. It's just irritating to me. But I have to unclip this from the flange and I empty through the ring. Taking the bag off of the flange when you have a continuously flowing stoma makes it kind of messy. It's easier when you have a bag on and you're draining from the bottom because it's just easier to stop the flow when you fold the bottom up. So I have considered actually switching to a drainable. Also, you know, I may have to go up in flange size. I currently use the smallest flange size available for that particular one. It does have a lot of room for me to grow should the stoma get, you know, the diameter grow. But I also have room should I need to bump up in size. I think there's maybe 2 to 3 larger flanges. It'll obviously cover more surface area of my belly, but at the same time, there's gonna be more surface area of my belly, so I think it'll work out. I'm really only, I think, worried about this if I have to completely change my ostomy routine, you know, including all the accessory items, because it takes a lot of work to get into your routine and find something that works for you. So, you know, there may be a bit of a learning curve with this as things change for me. We'll just have to see. But for right now, I'm fine. Like, if my stoma has grown, it's just the tiniest little bit and we're status quo. The next concern that I have is, will actually changing my ostomy and seeing my stoma become more difficult? Right now, obviously, I'm nearing 12 weeks, and so I'm pretty flat. Like I have a tiny belly, it's mainly bloat, but I can see everything going on. And my stoma is sort of in the middle of my abdomen, so I kind of wonder, you know, as my belly grows, where's the stoma gonna land? My guess is it's gonna be higher up. I don't think it's gonna be on the underside of my belly. Maybe it will be, I have no idea. I don't know how. This is my first time, my first rodeo with this, so we will have to see. But if it does wind up on the underside of my belly, how do you see? I change my ostomy bag in the bathroom in front of a mirror anyway, so that helps me see under my stoma. You know, I can face myself and see the reflection. But if my stoma winds up on the bottom part of the belly, do I put a mirror on the ground? I don't know. We'll have to see. But that is also something that I'm starting to think about. This next one, this I think worries me the most, and it's only because I've had experience with this. I have had mechanical blockages with my intestines. Actually, it only happened one time, and this was after I had my ostomy surgery, but still had my colon. If you're still living with your colon, it has to, you have to expel the mucus that your colon produces, because it still produces this mucus even if it's not being used, even if there's no food going through it. So I didn't know this. My colon was not draining, obviously. I wasn't able to get rid of this by going to the bathroom, so my colon expanded, and it actually blocked off my small intestine, making it so my stoma was not having any output, and that is a problem. So I am like slightly concerned about that, because as the baby grows, is it going to block off my intestines? And then I have to think of it as, you know, my intestines are healthy right now. The baby, you know, you can reposition, I think, and move the baby a little bit. You know, it moves around, so everyone, most people that have babies have some intestines, and this, I haven't heard of this being a common problem. So, you know, I don't have any other issues with my intestines. I've had no issues with blockages, especially since getting rid of my colon. So I'm hoping that this is just, you know, an unfounded fear. Another thing that I've thought about, and this might not be for everybody with a stoma because we all had our surgeries a little bit differently. Mine was done as an emergency procedure, which is why I have a large midline incision and a pretty rough looking scar because I was very sick when I had that surgery, and this incision that was really nice looking and clean dehisced, opened up, and that's why it looks like this valley. It's not a great looking scar. Not everyone has that. You know, a lot of people have their stomas done laparoscopically, so they've got tiny little incisions, and really the only thing that they've got going on in their belly is their stoma. That's not the case for me. I have this valley of a midline scar, and I'm so curious what it's gonna look like as my belly grows. I don't know. It could fade. It could fade away and just, you know, as things push out, maybe not be super noticeable, or it could get really interesting looking. I just don't know what's gonna happen with it. When I did go to pelvic floor therapy though, she tested my abdominal strength and the muscles to see, you know, what might happen with these muscles should I get pregnant, and she was very encouraged that I had a lot of abdominal strength, which I think I still have. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm fortunate that I had my surgery at a young age, so maybe things just healed well. I have no idea. Even though it looks rough, maybe it healed well and things will be okay. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. And for the last concern, this is kind of a goofy one, but what happens when people touch my belly? Because I've heard of people, you know, coming up to pregnant ladies and just touching their belly without asking. For me, you might come up to me thinking you're touching my pregnant belly, but you're just getting a full ostomy bag. Yeah, I don't really know how to approach that. I mean, if I tell them what they're actually touching, I think that'll take care of the problem, but just something something goofy that crossed my mind. Again, we'll see if that actually happens. It might. Thankfully, I think the people I'll be around most know that I have an ostomy. Like, family and friends know what I've got going on, and I think most of them know the side that it's on. So if they do want to touch my belly, you know, even if they don't know, I will guide them to the left side. It's just kind of funny. These are some of the unique concerns that have crossed my brain now that I feel so fortunate to be experiencing pregnancy. We will see what happens. Obviously, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all goes well and I continue to grow a healthy baby. That's obviously my number one priority, but I do live with a permanent stoma, so it'll be really interesting to see the changes that happen, and I will absolutely update you and share all the changes and all the unique experiences that might come along with this. I'll be sure to keep you updated, and you know, I'm excited to have my results with Viome and the gut intelligence test. I love that I can refer to the results anytime in the app and, you know, start implementing some of the dietary changes just to see if I can get control of my ostomy output again and hopefully, you know, avoid any increased inflammation in my belly, because I just don't want to deal with that currently. But I'm definitely excited to get back on track, get the gut bacteria back on track, because clearly there's a lot going on in there right now that I need to get regulated. So I'll keep you updated on that as well. Make sure to head to tryviome.com/LetsTalkIBD and use code LetsTalkIBD for $110 off of your test. I think you're really going to enjoy looking at your results and the ease of the test. It was just a super easy process. So thank you for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know if there's anything else that I should be looking out for in pregnancy with an ostomy. Don't scare me though. I don't want to be worried too much, but thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next. Bye guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are looking for a way to help support my channel, consider liking this video or even subscribing. You can also check out my store at LetsTalkIBD.shop. I have stickers and hoodies like these guys over here, just related to chronic illness and inflammatory bowel disease, something fun. And I also have a coupon code for my YouTube watchers. You could also become a member of my channel like the wonderful people scrolling on screen here. They've become a member and they have have access to videos a little bit earlier. It's a great way to support my channel, and really, just watching my videos means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.